It is time for another Monday Bible lesson. I am Erica Chada, the Director of Children's and Youth Ministries here at First Lutheran Church, ELCA in Blair, Nebraska. Today we're going to talk about Daniel. But first we're going to open with a prayer, and I need you guys to help me do this prayer. So every time I say something, you're going to reply with, "You are with us." So I will say a sentence, and then you will say, "You are with us." Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Dear Jesus, when we are surrounded by our friends, you are with us. When we feel lonely or scared, you are with us. When great things happen, when we feel like we're in the lion's den, thank you for being with us. Amen. Thank you for helping me with that prayer. Okay, so Daniel is in the lion's den. And if you have been to Sunday school or Life Night before, you've probably learned about Daniel. So we know that there are lions in this story. And every time when I read the story, every time when you hear me say lion, I want you to give your best roar, okay? And there will be some other things that I ask you to do too. But whenever you hear the word lion, you're going to give your very loudest, meanest, fiercest roar, okay? All right, we are going to read the story now. All right, here we go. Daniel and the lions. Daniel loved God. He prayed every day and tried to live as God had told him to. So every time you hear the word pray, I want you to fold your hands, okay? Daniel knew that no matter what, God was always with him. Daniel's good friend, King Darius, put Daniel in charge of many things in his kingdom. Some men got very jealous of Daniel and decided to get him in trouble. Heh heh heh, they thought, "We'll get Daniel yet." The men tricked the king into making a law that everyone had to pray, fold your hands, to King Darius and not to God. Anyone who broke this law would be placed into a den full of lions. Yikes! See Squiggles? He looks kind of scared. Daniel was very afraid of lions, but he prayed, fold your hands, to God anyway. Daniel knew he could get into big trouble, but he also knew that God would always be with him. Trouble came quickly. The men who tricked King Darius saw Daniel praying. Fold your hands. "Aha," they said. "We've got him. Now he won't be the king's favorite." They went to tell the king, "King Darius, Daniel is praying to his God instead of you." King Darius looked puzzled. Can you make a puzzled face? Daniel always prayed to his God. What was the big deal? Then the men reminded him, "You must put Daniel into the lion's den. You made it a law, remember?" Oh no, King Darius didn't want to put his friend Daniel in the lion's den. He didn't want Daniel to be hurt. But King Darius had to follow his own law. Daniel was put in with the lions. King Darius said, "I hope your God helps you." He went home and he stayed awake. And he stayed awake all night worrying about Daniel. In the lion's den, it was dark and scary. Lions growled all around Daniel. Daniel prayed, fold your hands, "God, I know you are with me. Please help me." And God was with Daniel. At sunrise, King Darius hurried to the lion's den and had it opened. "Daniel," he called, Are you there? Did your God save you? Daniel answered, I am here. God kept the lions from hurting me. God always keeps me safe. King Darius was overjoyed to see his friend. From that day on, King Darius believed in God. Here he is, King Darius, and there's Daniel. And he's cheering because his God kept him safe. Okay, so what was the rule that the men tricked the king into making? Do you remember? They tricked him to make a rule that said that everybody had to pray to the king instead of to God. And Daniel ended up in the lion's den because he prayed to God, right? Have you guys ever felt scared? And is there something that made you feel safe? Like maybe a special stuffed animal, or maybe your mom or dad gave you a hug, or maybe you were able to think of a time when you felt safe and that reassured you. All of those times when you were scared, something else was keeping you safe too, and that was God. God can keep us safe even when we're scared, okay? All right, so I have a little song for a prayer that we're going to do, and it's to the tune Row, Row, Row Your Boat, which I think most of you probably know. So it has some actions. So I'm going to sing it once, and you listen, and then you can sing it with me the second time, okay? Pray, pray, pray to God when you are afraid. God can keep you safe, hooray! Like Daniel in the den. Okay, did you get it? All right, sing it with me. Here we go. Pray, pray, pray to God when you are afraid. God can keep you safe, hooray! Like Daniel in the den. You can sing that anytime if it helps you feel safe and remind you that Daniel was kept safe by God, and so are you. All right. One last prayer, and I'm just going to ask you to repeat after me. Dear God, thank you for keeping Daniel safe. As we leave this week, help us remember to pray to you, and that you can keep us safe too. Amen. All right, you guys remember this whole week that God keeps you safe, and he is always listening to your prayers and taking care of you, okay? I will see you on Thursday for a creative activity that has to do with Daniel and the lions. All right, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.